Right, so we're back on the job of doing the arcade game. So what we've done so far is where the screws have been previously, it's obviously the skull vinyl on, we've just added a bit of filler in. We've marked out where the top will be, which we've now got over here. So we laser cut the speaker covers out, which is going to be placed onto this part. We've got the speakers, the DNA here. Now we're only using 8 watts or 8-ohm speakers for this one, simply because the sound is going to be in reception, so we don't want it too loud, but this is enough to get enough sound for people to hear it while they're playing. So because we want it to look like an arcade game, we're still making the speakers look fairly bigger than they are. So what we're going to do here is we're going to drill part of the way through with a force bit down to there for the back piece to fit through. Hopefully that'll give us clearance for that to go through, and then we're using the bigger force bit, which is going to be for the diameter here for it to sit into, and then we're going to pilot hole drill where these parts are and then screw that onto the base, and that should be the housing for the speakers. So that's the next job.
So back onto our arcade machine build. Today what we're doing is we're setting up the sound for it. And what we've come up with is we're going to use a 3.5mm jack plug. We're going to plug that directly into the Raspberry Pi. We've cut the ends of the lead so have the wires exposed, which we're going to connect straight to stereo speakers, which will hang head height on the actual arcade machine. Mr. Harris is next door sorting the holes and drilling the size we need for the speakers, so an update as soon as that's done.
Right, so we're back in with the machine. So we're just looking now at which angle to go to. So we're going to bring these up to the edge and then just sand these down so it fits accordingly. And I've just drawn the lines that you can see down there, which will be from the side. So while Mr. Bradley's fixing the speakers to it, my next job is to build where the screen's going to go. So what we've got is a board that we're going to literally attach at a certain angle from there, and then we've got the screen, which is over here, that should, if we've designed it right, I should have checked this before I did the video, should literally fit onto the game arcade there, and so it's pretty much ready at head height and ready to go. So the next stage will be to fit this screen into this sort of area. Now when we're doing it though, what we're going to try and do is make the screen flush with what we're building, so that's the plan. Right, so we're back and this is fitted in. So just to check that we got the dimensions right, this one's set at 60 and this one's also at 60. So that's correct. We've got that bit at the height. What we need to do now is build a recess in for this to fit in, because this is going to be screwed in and these are going to be filled up the same as these are here, so you won't be able to access the screws, which means that the only way you can access behind here is if the screen can lift out. So we're making it basically so the screen can slot in and be removed. So we need to have some sort of bracket that's going to stop the screen from coming out. And there's 2 ways we can do that. One of the ways we're thinking of doing is making a U shape for the screen to sit into, or very simply we could just screw some buttons onto the side so it stops the screen from falling backwards. So where we are on the screen here, we can actually place some brackets just to stop the back falling through, which is this bit, but we can also screw some strips that will go down the side just to hold this in place to stop it falling back, just in case we need to get access to some of these points. So we've got the power supply that obviously needs to go out the back of the machine. We've also got the HDMI, which needs to connect to the Raspberry Pi, so we need to have the access to the back. But other than that, the rest is pretty straightforward to do. So that's the next stage. So the next stage is to build the brackets to fit into these parts. Right, so to fit the screen in, we've got the bit at the height we need to be so we can look at the screen at the right angle it is, but we've just attached a bracket behind. I'm not sure if it's easy to see, but we've had to cut out some recesses to fit with where these parts are and this part on here, so we didn't want to damage the monitors. So we've set these at the right distance that we can alter to put through. We've projected the lines up, and we've just got the top bit to fit in there. The top bit will fit pretty much the same, but we'll have the thickness of the TV. So in this case, it's going to be nearly 5 or 50 mil. That we're just going to build out and have a strip going down just to support that back to stop that fitting through.